Hello everybody and welcome back to the Faceoff. In this video, we thought that we would do a bit more of a fun one. In this one, we are going to be ranking our top 5 forward lines in the NHL. Now, we took a lot of things into consideration for this video. The first thing being is that all the lines have to have a minimum of 175 minutes played together. And the second thing is we also didn't take into account guys who've played on two different lines. Like I know Carter Verhaeghe. He was on that first line for Florida for a while, and he was also playing on that second line for Florida. So we didn't take any duplicates into account like that. And the last thing that I'll mention is not just the three guys with the most talent here. We actually took into consideration, their advanced statistics, like their expected goals for, their defensive numbers, all of that. So it's more about not just their talent that those three guys make up, but actually how they play together. So this is going to be a pretty fun one, but let's get started with number 1, which is our top line in the NHL.
In our opinion, the best line in the NHL is the Tampa Bay forward line of Gensel, Point, and Kucherov. Now, Tampa Bay replacing Steven Stamkos with Jay Gensel has proven to be a wonderful addition for them. And this line has instantly clicked. This line has played 538 minutes together for a total of 55 games. So I think, you're starting to see a little bit of change as the season goes on. Obviously makes sense, injuries, whatever. This line has an expected goals of 51.1%. Now, this is not a elite expected goals line. This line is just kind of doing the job. Really serviceable line that, when you're down, when you need it, a cycle in the offensive zone, they'll really provide that. And this line kind of carries Tampa Bay and then allows that secondary scoring of Hagel, Paul, Cirelli, all those kind of guys to chip in when needed. But this line really sets the tone for Tampa Bay, which is why we have it as number 1.
For line number 2 on this list, we have the Edmonton Oilers, and it is no other than Zach Hyman, Connor McDavid, and Leon Draisaitl. What a beast of a line that is. So, diving to some advanced analytics, their expected goals for percentage is 68.4, which actually leads all of the teams or the lines that we're doing today. So obviously that's fantastic. Not only can they score with the offensive weapons that they have with McDavid and Draisaitl, but they can also defend fairly well with their goals against being very solid as well. They played 255 minutes together, so obviously very solid. They played a lot with each other in the years past too, so that overall contributes to their chemistry on the ice. But you got a well-rounded balance of stuff. Like Zach Hyman, he's a guy that goes to the net, gets those greasy goals. Although he's not having the 50-goal season like he did last year, he's still having a very respectable one and is a perfect player to put along two superstars like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, who have both been fantastic in their own ways offensively as well.
Our third best line, and some may say this is a little controversial, we have the Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Gabe Vilardi line of the Winnipeg Jets. This line has played 839 minutes together. That is insane. That shows that this line was stuck together right from the jump of the season. They were together at points last year when Vilardi came back from his injury, and this line has been unstoppable for Winnipeg, making them obviously one of, if not the best team in the NHL as of now. With an expected goals of 52.5, extremely solid. Really, this line has what I like to call a perfect hockey line with a sniper, a guy that goes to the net, and a guy that can play make. And this is the tone that you see with all these lines. You'll see it with every single line we have in this video. You got Kyle Connor, who can shoot the puck, Mark Scheifele, who can play make, and Gabe Vilardi, who can go to the net and get those greasy goals. It's a perfect hockey line. Like I said with the Tampa line, sets the tone when you need it, allows the secondary scoring to really kick into gear, and is exactly what you want from a first line in the NHL. For our fourth line, we have Artturi Lehkonen, Nathan MacKinnon, and Marty Necas. Now, this line is absolutely ridiculous. They've played 16 games together. They've played 171 minutes, so they just crossed that final border. They're lucky to them. They have an expected goals of 70%. Can you imagine if this line had played together the whole season? I cannot wait to see what these guys are going to do next year when playing together. Again, sniper, playmaker, and guy that goes in front of the net. The tone you see with all these lines, these guys have it again. Necas has been ridiculous since going over to Colorado. What a trade that's been for them. I know they traded Rantanen, but boy, oh boy, have they made the best out of that. This is an unbelievable line. Again, tone setter, everything you need from a first line. I'll give you another stat here. Their expected goals per 60 minutes is 4.64. That is number 1 in the NHL by quite some margin. It is very good. Their expected goals against is also extremely solid for first line because you always got to expect that a first line expected goals against will be probably higher than others because they're playing against the best players on the other team. And to have an expected goals of 6 is really good. So again, really good stuff from Colorado here. What a trade. Lehkonen, Natchez, and McKinnon are a wonderful hockey line.
And for our last team, number 5, this line in the NHL is none other than the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, you got Matthew Knies on the left, Austin Matthews at center, and Mitch Marner on the right side. Similar to all of these, you do see a kind of power forward, sniper and playmaker combo, which is obviously a formula for success. You know, Austin Matthews having a little bit of a down year, been dealing with some injuries, but he is still a fantastic goal scorer, can put the puck in the net when you need him to. Mitch Marner having a great year for the Leafs, definitely their most valuable player right now. Earning a big contract, he'll get that in the summer, but he's been playing great as a playmaker. Those two are unstoppable. And then you got Matthew Knies. Now, I like to think of Matthew Knies, you know how the Edmonton Oilers have Hyman to the McDavid and Draisaitl. I like to think as Matthew Knies is kind of like the Hyman, but to Matthews and Marner. And he's a guy that will retrieve pucks. He's physical. Obviously, he's huge. It's a perfect guy to pair alongside of those two to create some offense. Now, diving into some of their deeper statistics in expected goals for, they are 60.1%. So that's obviously near the top of the list. And also, they have played 409 minutes, which I believe is second or third out of all the lines that we mentioned. So they have a lot of experience together, especially dating back all the way till last year. So overall, that's why we have Toronto in the 5 spot.
So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the best hockey channel on the world for anything hockey related. We're there to provide it to you, whatever the circumstances are. And yeah, we appreciate all the support. Make sure to comment on this video. Give us your thoughts on this. We really appreciate all the support and try to respond to every single one of your comments. So without further ado, I'll end it and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great night. That was so fucking shit.
No worries.